All right, what is good? What is happening, people? This video should be coming out probably Sunday night. I would assume I'm recording this Sunday afternoon, so probably Sunday night we'll get this video out. So I did a poll. I put up a poll on the channel asking if you guys would be interested in me doing weekly/monthly anime and manga reviews. Specifically, I brought up the examples of Dragon Ball Super and One Piece. And so I decided, well, hey, you know what? We got a One Piece chapter this week. We got a Dragon Ball Super chapter this week. I was like, might as well start now. Because right now the poll is leaning towards yes. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a try this week. Now, obviously, trying to do a live reaction this week is a little bit difficult because the chapters have been out for a little bit now, so I don't really see a point in doing a live reaction, to be honest with you. But in the future, I will try to do live reactions to One Piece chapters and to Dragon Ball Super chapters going forward. Assuming that we are going to get more Dragon Ball Super, which I think we probably will. But yeah, that is the plan. So this week we're doing a breakdown/review of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 103. Now, here's the thing. This is a very historic chapter because this is, until confirmed otherwise, this is, at the time that we know right now, this is the last chapter of Dragon Ball Super that Akira Toriyama actually worked on. As you can see right there, story by Akira Toriyama, art by Toyotaro. Now, for those of you that don't know, Toriyama, his involvement in Dragon Ball Super, both the anime and the manga, is that he was not writing and drawing this stuff directly. Rather, he was coming up with notes, coming up with ideas, creating a plot outline, essentially, and sending those plot outlines to Toyotaro, that does the manga, and to Toei, who does the anime, and they would interpret his notes, interpret his outline, and kind of do their own thing. So if you ever wonder why is there some discrepancy between manga arcs and anime arcs, that's the reason why. They interpreted Toriyama's notes a little bit differently, so there's some discrepancies between the two stories. But of course, with the passing of Akira Toriyama, this will be the last chapter, at least as far as we know, the last chapter that he was actually involved in, that he actually wrote notes for. Now, is it possible that Toriyama had notes and ideas and plot lines and stuff written out for the next arc, for whatever comes after the superhero arc? Potentially. Possibly. We don't know how far ahead Toriyama wrote when it came to Dragon Ball Super. We don't know if he had ideas in mind for the future. I mean, obviously he had ideas in mind, but did he write those ideas down? Did he put those ideas somewhere to where people like Toyotaro and Jump and Toei would be able to access them? We don't know. I assume that he did. I assume that he probably did because Geekdom 101, shout out to Geekdom 101, was talking on his channel about this guy that he knows, that there's some information that apparently Toriyama, knew that he was in bad health, and that Toriyama sat down with Toyotaro and sat down with the people involved in creating Dragon Ball Super, and they actually had discussions and stuff. So it is possible that he gave them ideas for future arcs just in case something happened. That's entirely possible. I would say probably he did have ideas for Black Frieza, but again, we just don't know at this point. We just don't know. And that brings us to something that's going to be revealed at the end of this chapter, and that is that there's going to be a break next month. There is not going to be an April chapter for Dragon Ball Super. And that's understandable. Probably they're going to have to get together. Everybody involved in Dragon Ball Super is going to have to get together, talk things out, see what they want to do. Could they just skip ahead to the end of Z? Potentially, but again, there's still a lot of plot lines out there that haven't been resolved. Black Frieza is the biggest one. That's not been resolved. We know next to nothing about Zalama, the dragon god, the one who created the Super Dragon Balls. The Planet Sadala arc that we have all been waiting for. Haven't gotten to that yet. We haven't visited Planet Sadala. There's a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball Super that, unfortunately, we just haven't got around to and has been left open-ended. And there's a lot of things that need to be resolved before we could properly wrap up the story. But where things going to go, we don't know. But for right now, let's dive into Chapter 103. Again, this is a very historic chapter because, as far as we know, it is the last chapter that Akira Toriyama himself actually worked on. So let's go ahead and we will jump into Dragon Ball Super Chapter 103. And going over this chapter, when I was reading this chapter for the first time, very difficult. I read the chapter this morning. Very difficult. Because again, I've been taking this whole Toriyama thing pretty rough because of how much influence this man had on my childhood. And so, I don't know, man. Like, it was a tough read. Knowing that this was the final chapter he worked on, knowing this is the final chapter with Toriyama's involvement, it's a pretty tough read. It's a pretty tough read. But let's jump into it. So in the last chapter, Chapter 102, of course, we had the fight between Ultra Instinct Goku and Gohan Beast. And that fight continues in this chapter. Gohan and Goku are still going at it. This is some awesome paneling, dude. Dragon Ball has always been known for its great paneling. Toriyama was a master of that. Obviously, this is Toyotaro's work, but Toyotaro does a really good job of capturing Toriyama's look, of capturing Toriyama's paneling. Again, not as good as the man himself, but he does a pretty damn good job trying to replicate it. And Dragon Ball has always been very good when it comes to the action in the manga. So strongest versus strongest, the winner is. And I also want to give a shout out to Chapter 103, Passing On to the Future. Is that telling us that they are going to continue Super? Potentially. We'll see. I think this chapter title probably has a double meaning, if I'm being honest. So the fight continues between Gohan Beast and Ultra Instinct Goku. And this, again, some really good paneling, some really good action here. I really like this whole page right here. Gohan punching Goku, like just the effects here. Goku being pushed back, going into this mountainside here, and just you can feel the impact. Like, this is really, really good. Like, I love the way, especially this panel right here, does so much for adding to the feel of this. Just really giving you a sense of the motion and the speed and how much of an impact he's getting when he actually hits this mountain. And then again, look at this, dude. That is some good work right there. Just wham, just right through the mountain. Love it. But Goku stops himself. Again, great. I love the expression on Goku's face here. Just some great paneling here. Great paneling. So of course Goku is complimenting Gohan, and yeah, it's just this is really good, man. Like, this is something I can't wait till the anime comes back, because like when the anime comes back, they're going to expand on this. They're going to add more scenes. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait for this stuff to get animated. But yeah, the fight continues between Ultra Instinct Goku and Gohan. And I just love seeing this fight because, again, like, a lot of people were wondering ever since Super Hero the movie came out, like, what was stronger, Beast or Ultra Instinct? And again, like, this is a fight that people have been waiting for. When did Super Hero come out? Super Hero came out in, was it 2022? Yeah, it was 2022. So it's been, about a year and a half, I would say. It came out like in the fall of 2022. So yeah, the fight continues. Goku's getting serious. Wham! Hits Gohan right from the back. That's an awesome panel. That's a good panel right there. I love the way that Goku's anatomy is designed here. It's just, that's really good. Kicks Gohan. Gohan gets sent flying. And then Goku comes up in front of Gohan and wham! Hits Gohan down to the ground. Again, I love the paneling, dude. Like, this, again, it's not Toriyama level, but damn, Toyotaro comes close. If Dragon Ball Super, the manga, continues, I feel like it's in good hands with Toyotaro. As far as the paneling and the fights go, now there's some issues with this chapter we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But Gohan comes back for another counterattack. Goku dodges because, again, it's Ultra Instinct. That's kind of the big thing, is to act on instinct, not to think, just to move on instinct. And what I'm getting from this, it's debatable. Like, which one's stronger? Gohan Beast or Ultra Instinct Goku? And regardless of which one's stronger, I think it's still pretty obvious that Ultra Instinct is the faster form. Because, again, you're acting on instinct. You don't have to think. When you move, you don't think in Ultra Instinct. You just act on instinct. You don't have that time between the thought going to your brain, to your muscles. No, it's just your body moving on its own. So I think Ultra Instinct is still the faster form. And we see that right here. Like, Goku's just constantly dodging. And so we have Broly, we have Whis, we have Beerus, we have Vegeta watching the fight. And again, Vegeta's talking about how Ultra Instinct is steering the fight into Goku's favor. Again, I think that's mainly because of the speed advantage. And also, Vegeta brings up the experience, because Goku is the more experienced fighter. We all know that Goku is a martial arts genius. This has been established over and over and over and over and over. But yeah, see, like Goku says right here, when Ultra Instinct gets mastered, the body moves on its own. That's why no attack would hit. Goku is definitely, I think, faster here. So Gohan powers up. They're really impressed by the amount of power that Gohan is creating here. And then wham, Gohan goes in for the attack. But Goku is able to dodge. Still able to dodge. Just barely, but he's able to dodge. Gohan goes in for another attack. Goku takes... I don't think Gohan actually hits him here physically. It's more like the air or the energy coming off of the attack hits Goku instead. And Goku continues to dodge. Catches Gohan's fist. Again, Ultra Instinct is faster, but Gohan is giving him a run for his money until finally Gohan is able to land a hit. That's impressive. So here we have Vegeta talking about how he passed the evasive speed of Ultra Instinct. And Gohan's talking about how Beast worked, as he was about to go berserk, he raised his ki and controlled it. So again, it goes back to the whole thing about how anger draws out Gohan's potential. This is interesting right here. So Whis explains that the beast form is not a divine technique. It's just Gohan is very gifted. And the thing is about that is that when it comes to Gohan Beast, again, I've explained this when I did my Dragon Ball Super Hero movie review. I was talking about what Gohan Beast actually is. And it's the next step beyond Ultimate Gohan. And it's really kind of a combination of two different concepts. It's Gohan's anger unlocking a new form, which is something that we saw in the Cell Saga, where Gohan used his anger to break the barrier between Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 and achieve Super Saiyan 2. But it's also an evolution of his ultimate form. And the way you can think about it is that Gohan Beast is essentially the next step of Ultimate Gohan. You can kind of think of it as being Ultimate Gohan 2, Ultimate Form 2. And just like how Gohan used anger in order to access the next stage of Super Saiyan back in the Cell Saga, Super Saiyan 2, Gohan is he did use anger in the Super Hero movie and in the Super Hero arc in the manga. He used anger as the catalyst to break the barrier between where his ultimate form was and the further potential, the further depths of power that his ultimate form could tap into, and that's essentially Gohan Beast. So it's a combination of those two concepts, and that's why I love it, because it's an idea for a form that fits so well with Gohan. It's a culmination of everything Gohan has been throughout the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga. All right, so the fight comes to an end without really having a conclusion. Again, Gohan did kind of get the one up on Goku, but I think overall Ultra Instinct is still the faster form. I think you can view it more as Gohan catching Goku by surprise, to be honest with you. But this is where we get kind of an interesting twist here, and that is Broly. Broly steps in to fight Gohan. This is very interesting. This is something that people have been wanting to see because Gohan and Broly, they're both fueled by their emotions. Broly is fueled by anger. Gohan is fueled by anger. Now, obviously, Gohan is better at controlling it than Broly, or at least he has been in the past. But yeah, here we go. It's Beast Gohan versus Broly. And again, a very awesome fight. Really good paneling we got going on here. I just kind of wish these fights would go on longer. That's why I really want the anime to come back, because I know the anime is going to expand on this. It's going to add some scenes. It's going to add some good stuff. And I just wish these fights would go longer. So now Broly's going Super Saiyan. Goku's worried about him going Berserk. But look at this. Look at this panel right here. Broly is able to keep control of himself. Look at that, man. He doesn't have the white, the solid white eyes. You can still see his pupils. Broly is in control. He's actually able to control his power. This, again, kind of similar to what happened with Gohan in the Cell Saga, because we know up to that point, when Gohan got mad, when he got angry, he just lost his mind. But here we have Broly, who, again, loses his mind when he goes angry. No. He's mastered it. He's able to control himself. He's able to keep control over his senses. He's not going berserk. Similar to what happened with Gohan in the Cell Saga, where he was not only able to tap into his anger and use it to expand his power, but he was also able to control it. Beerus comments that Gohan, however, still seems to have better control over his emotions. But yeah, it's an awesome fight. They're just bouncing around Beerus' planet, messing stuff up. And then Vegeta actually wants to get in there and fight Gohan. And then all of them jump in. You have Goten, you have Trunks, you have Vegeta, you have Goku, you have Broly, you have Gohan. They're all jumping in to fight, and the fight's over too quickly. It's mostly off screen. We just get a few panels. And I want to see this. I would like a whole chapter devoted just to this fight alone. Again, it's not necessary to see it because it's just more of the idea of the fight, but oh man, I wish we got to see more of this. I really wish we got to see more of this. This is why I want the anime to come back, because I know it's going to expand on this. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome to see them all just going at it. So after the fight, they end up having a big meal. And all right, so this is kind of the first. This is the first issue I have with the chapter, and that is they're talking about Carmine and I forget the other dude's name from the Red Ribbon Army. Carmine and I forgot his name. But Carmine and the other dude from the Red Ribbon Army. It's been a while since I've seen the superhero movie, and I didn't read much of the superhero arc because it was basically a retelling of the movie. So it's been a little while. But Carmine, Gohan explains that Carmine and his associate are from the Red Ribbon Army, and Vegeta asks, "What is the Red Ribbon Army?" All right, this is an issue I have here, because Vegeta should know who the Red Ribbon Army is. Now, obviously, Vegeta wasn't around during the Red Ribbon Army saga, but he was around during the Android saga. And who was the androids made by? Who was Cell made by? Dr. Gero of the Red Ribbon Army. And for people that will say, oh, well, there was no indication, that they were made by the Red Ribbon Army or associated with the Red Ribbon Army, it was on their clothes, man. Like, if you look at their clothes, they all have the Red Ribbon Army symbol. Their original uniforms from the Android saga, they all had the Red Ribbon Army symbol. So yes, Vegeta should know who the Red Ribbon Army is. He should know that the androids are associated with the Red Ribbon Army. This doesn't make sense. This absolutely does not make sense. I'm sure they told Vegeta that Gero was involved with the Red Ribbon Army. Ugh. Vegeta should know this, man. Like, I don't understand the point of this. As much as I've given Toyotaro praise for his paneling, for the way he does the fights, which is really, really good, it's little things like this, it's little continuity errors like this that really do upset me. Like, that makes me go, ooh. And given, you know, the thing is, and given, you know, the thing is that, you know, Toriyama also would forget things from time to time, which would lead to some plot holes, some plot inconsistencies, but come on, guys. You guys know that Vegeta was there in the Android Saga. He should know what the Red Ribbon Army is. Like, this is just dumb. This is just really, really dumb. I don't like this at all. So anyways, all of them end up going back to Earth, and this is kind of interesting here because Goku and Vegeta are also going to go back to Earth, and Goku says, I'll come back soon, and then Beerus is like, yeah, don't come back. If we didn't have, honestly, if we did not have all of these loose plot threads like Black Frieza, like Planet Sadala, like Zalama, if we didn't have all of these loose plot threads that need to be resolved, that need to be answered, this could kind of be an alright ending. I mean, it feels rushed, but it could be an alright ending for Dragon Ball Super the manga if they wanted to end it here because of the passing of Toriyama. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to, and I don't think they can. There's just too much left unresolved. But I do like this panel. And I do wonder, is this an indication that Goku and Vegeta are not going to see Beerus and Whis again until after the end of Z? Because I kind of get that vibe. I kind of get the vibe that they're not going back to Whis and Beerus's planet until after the end of Z. This kind of feels like a good, not a goodbye, but like, you know, we're not going to see each other for a while. Like that's kind of the feeling I get. All right, so they head back to Earth. They end up in front of Piccolo, and of course they talk about the orange Piccolo transformation. I would kind of like to see Orange Piccolo go up against Goku, to be honest with you. All right, so this brings me to my other issue with this manga chapter, and that is that Goku doesn't remember Pan. He doesn't recognize Pan, and it's like, dude, that's your granddaughter. And look, I understand that he has been on Beerus's planet for a while. Let's not get this twisted, guys. Let's not get this twisted. They have been on Beerus's planet since before the Granola arc. I mean, they've been there for a while, man. So I get that Goku probably hasn't seen Pan for a very long time, but to forget his own granddaughter, Goku is not this stupid, man. Like, if you go back to Dragon Ball Z, Goku was never this dumb. Goku was never this dense. And Vegeta's even calling him out on it, like, that's your freaking granddaughter, dude. So they end up picking up Pan from school, and Pan doesn't recognize Goku either, which is a little more understandable because she's a kid. You know, she was maybe too young before Goku went off to train with Beerus, before, you know, she could really remember him that well. That makes more sense. But Goku should remember Pan. Like, Pan's a little more excusable as to why she doesn't recognize Goku. But Goku should recognize Pan. That is, I'm sorry, but that's just really, really dumb. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That being said, Pan goes in to attack Goku thinking he's some kind of stranger, some kind of villain. And they end up having this sweet moment. And if you look at the end of Z, Goku and Pan are really, really close. Goku and Pan are really close to one another. They have a really strong bond. Pan loves her grandpa. She loves her grandpa Goku. And he loves his little granddaughter. And this right here you can kind of see is the beginning of them bonding. Again, I hate the fact that Goku doesn't remember who Pan is. That's really freaking stupid. Goku's not that dumb. Toyotaro, you can't be doing shit like this in the future. But this is a nice set of panels right here. Because you can tell, like, this is the beginning of them bonding. And this is the beginning of that closer relationship. Because they even fly off and they, like, leave Gohan and Piccolo behind. But you can tell, like, this is the beginning of that bond that we're going to see fully flourished at the end of Z. And does that mean that the end of Z is going to be next, or are we going to get a mini arc where we're going to see Gohan or Goku and Pan hang out and stuff and bond even more? We'll see. We'll see. They honestly, like, this is the end of the superhero arc. They could go ahead and move on to the end of Z, because with Pan being at the age that she is, we are really close to the end of Z. I forget how old Pan is in this arc, to be honest with you, but we're just maybe a few months to a year from the end of Z. And I think we'll probably get another mini arc, probably. I don't think we're going to jump into the end of Z immediately. But I don't, because they were so close to the end of Z, I don't see them doing something like Black Frieza, because that's going to be a massive arc. Like, that's going to be a huge arc. I don't see them doing something like Black Frieza until after the end of Z. But if they wanted to, honestly, they could go ahead and just skip to end of Z if they wanted to. But that's it. That's the end of this chapter. That's the end of this arc. And of course, they will be on hiatus next month. We will be on hiatus from the next issue, so there's not going to be an issue in April. Is it just going to be the April issue that they're going to be on hiatus? I don't know. It could be longer than that. There is a message here at the end where it says Akira Toriyama Sensei, who published many works in Jump magazines, has passed away. The entire V-Jump editorial staff is deeply saddened by the sudden news of his passing. We would like to express our gratitude to Toriyama Sensei for his great achievements, and we pray for his soulful rest in peace. Yes, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. The future of Dragon Ball it's uncertain right now, but I think they're going to spend the next month talking it out, figuring out where things go from here, and I don't think it's over. I think they're going to continue on. The question is how long? How many arcs do we have left before they wrap all this up? I don't know. There's a lot of plot threads that need to be resolved, but they definitely deserve time to figure things out. And this is it, folks. This is, as far as we know, this is the last manga chapter that Akira Toriyama worked on. Again, we don't know how much Toriyama had written out for the next arc, the next few chapters. I have no idea. We have no idea. But as far as we know, this was the last chapter that Akira Toriyama worked on, and this is going to go down in history. If that remains the case, this is going to go down in history. All right. That is going to wrap it up for my review, my breakdown of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 103. Whenever we get the next chapter, I will see you guys then for another video regarding it. I will also try to do a live reaction of it when it comes out. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, I'm going to do some serious editing to that type of stuff because, YouTube and their copyright rules are very stringent when it comes to this stuff. This video is going to go on YouTube heavily edited as far as obscuring some of the images and stuff, working around that. I do plan on putting an unedited version of this breakdown and review onto my Patreon, though. So if you want to check that out, it's only $3 a month. The link to my Patreon will be down in the description box below. So there is going to be an unedited version of this going up on Patreon, but you guys get the edited version on YouTube. All right. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, rest in peace, Toriyama. I'll see you guys for the next one, and tell me if you guys like this. Tell me if you guys like to have me reviewing anime and manga content. Do you guys want more of this? Anyways, I'll see you guys for the next one. This is JeskerJames with the Z, and I am signing out.